Hello, guys. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here on this February 23rd, 2025, Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. Uh, where do I start? Well, Elon Musk. Uh, I was listening to Trump talking about Elon Musk. And they said, "What position does Elon Musk have? What is his position?" They asked Trump, and Trump said that he was patriot. Was his position? His position is patriot. Uh, But Elon Musk right now, he's saying this to federal workers. He says, explain what you get done. Tell them what did you get done in your job? What did you get done? If you didn't get anything done and you're not getting anything done, you're fired. Uh, it says Elon Musk, head of Trump's administration's Department of Government Efficiency, threatened on Saturday to fire any federal workers who failed to explain what work they have or haven't accomplished during the previous week. In other words, if they didn't get any work done the whole week, they're fired. Man, they're going through and they're chopping. It's a chopping block in the United States right now. Uh, National Park Service is in turmoil after 1,000 staff has been abruptly cut. They just terminated. Man, they were going through and they're terminating. They're terminating so many people within government. How many government workers has Trump fired so far? He's doing what he said he would do, which is cut back on government. But I'm going to tell you, there's a few little problems here. Elon Musk went through an efficiency, and I think he said he found $4.7 billion worth of corruption and waste. They're sending checks out to dead people. And they have, I guess, been for a very long time. Sending money, a lot of government money out to just people who don't deserve it, and it's all scams. But it's a giant flow of money, and evidently Elon Musk says 4.7, no, it's 4.7 trillion, not billion, 4.7 trillion. So it's 4.7 thousand million billions. It's an unbelievable amount of money. Right? But, if they go through and they start cutting, that money's been feeding our economy. It filters down. In other words, they send those checks out to a corrupt individual. Say they send him $100,000. That money filters its way into the economy. So chopping off all this what's considered waste, and I know it's corruption, it's malinvestment, it's sending people money that don't deserve it and everything else. It's schemes, and but that's the way our system is run, and that's one of the things that helps support our system. As strange as it sounds, like there's so much graft and corruption within the medical system out there, but if you were to remove it, the economy would collapse. And it's the same way with this other graft and corruption. It's there, it's filtering money into the system. The system runs on corruption. You remove the corruption, the system starts to go into a depression or a recession. But that's the chances that they're willing to take right now. They're trying to clean the system up, but you're going to go through a lot of pain. In other words, this could really trip us into a recession, cutting all these federal workers and stuff. I know they don't get anything done. I know that's money for nothing. Like the old song, money for nothing and chicks for free or whatever. They're getting the money for nothing, And I know it has to come to an end sooner or later, but it's apt to trigger a recession because it's an awful lot of money we're talking about here. Then you make all these cuts. It's the money that filters down into the economy, the overall general economy, ultimately. And we're teetering on hard ground right now. It says federal workers with less than 1 year on the job are subject to immediate layoff. All agencies have been ordered to fire such employees, meaning 220,000 more are let go right there. That's going to be at 220,000 people. But these are government workers, but they are ordinary people. They rent apartments. They're gone. That money's not going to make its way into the economy. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make that every time you cut a job now in the economy, even if it's a graft job, even if it's corruption, even if it's, or if you cut payments to some, even if it's some stupidest things on earth, like sending money to study flies in the Congo, you know, is still part of what's supporting the economy. If you're going to cut or do these massive cuts on one part aspect of the economy, you've got to pump it up on another aspect of the economy. Otherwise, if you haul that away and you just leave an absence or a hole, it's going to create a recession. It's going to create hard times because the money's been cut. It's as simple as that. And it's not like I don't agree with this. I think that this corruption that's filtered into the system has been there for a long time now. I think it should have been gone a long time ago. It should have been cut and get rid of it. Cut the graft, cut the waste. But it's going to be pain. This is what I'm saying. And this is going to affect the prices of almost everything out there. This could, well, we'll have to wait and see how it's going to pan out ultimately in the end. Now, Zelensky and the war over in Ukraine. Says Zelensky loses the seat at his own table as Trump and Putin decide Ukraine's fate alone. What the heck's going on over there? What was this? And if they get a peace deal over there, a Trump envoy says that U.S. firms may do business in Russia in case of a peace deal. Boy, that's a big turnaround. I was telling you guys about some of these really big turnarounds. Like Zelensky was 6 months ago. He could do no wrong. It was a love fest between the presidency and the White House and Zelensky and everything else, and now they're calling him a dictator. I mean, the whole thing's just flipped 180 degrees. Well, the whole thing's flipping 180 degrees. Russia was enemy number one. Never do business with them again. They're going to be blacklisted for the rest of the everything, and horrible and blah blah blah. And now all of a sudden, Trump envoy says U.S. firms may do business in Russia if they get a peace deal. Suddenly, they're going to be doing business with Russians again. Boy, that's a turnaround, I'll tell you. It says here Trump will not pull the troops out of Poland. Now, this is going on at the same time we get these peace deals trying to go through and everything else. But they're keeping their reinforcements in place just in case things fall through. We're going to keep their reinforcements in place just in case. Zelensky is willing to give up the presidency in exchange for NATO membership. So there's a lot of dealing going on here. They're over there right now, and Trump's trying to get these minerals from Zelensky, and Zelensky's sitting at the table, and you got Putin and you got Trump, and they're all trying to iron out some sort of a deal. Oh, heaven forbid it doesn't go through. Because you just heard me say that Trump's keeping these troops in Poland. Let's all hope that this peace deal does go through. This is very important because I'm telling you, this is a very, very dangerous situation over there right now, and it could explode because, like I've told you guys going back a number, if you guys been watching the channel for a while, I said that the two most dangerous points of a war is not an ongoing war. That's not the real danger. Real danger is when a war is getting started up, or the early days of a war, and toward the end of a war. This war's went on for a long time. You guys have gotten used to it. It's been going on for years. But we're getting near the end, and the end's a dangerous point. Those are the two most dangerous points of a war. Why I say danger is because we're living in a nuclear age. And we got two nuclear superpowers that are basically one's got a hold of one side of Ukraine, one's got a hold of the other side of Ukraine. They're playing tug of war right now, and Ukraine's getting stretched this way and stretched that way, and and it either pans out right now or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, it's apt to escalate on the other side of this. If it doesn't pan out, this peace deal. So let's hope they get this peace deal through. Now this week in the economy, I'm going to tell you guys out there, you don't know if that gold is in Fort Knox or not. And all these channels out there speculating. One guy says, oh, the gold's probably not there. Trump even said probably it could be stolen or whatever, and nobody knows. Some people say, oh, it's there. No problem. And other people, no, it's not there. And everybody's arguing. Nobody knows. We're going to find out for sure when they go into that vault. This is what I wanted to say to you guys. An awful lot of people, Trump and Elon Musk probably don't have any more idea whether that gold is actually in there than any one of you guys in my audience. Their guess is as good as yours. It's been a very long time, and nobody has ever checked on that gold to see if and that's gold. It's gold. It's tons and tons and tons of gold. Gold. Nobody's ever checked on it. Nobody's seen it. Nobody's touched it. Nobody's looked at it. Nobody that's alive today. Well, you say, well, the Treasury Secretary Munchkin went down into the vault. Well, let me just tell you guys, the last time the seal was broken and they let anybody in to see that gold was 1974. And they only broke one room of the 150 rooms. They broke the seal on one room, and I think they sealed it back up when they were done, shut the door, and put the seal back on. So how did Munchkin get in there to see the gold? Did they break all 150 seals for him and take him into each room and show him all 150 rooms? Or did he see nothing? And they let him into the vault, but did he see anything? Did he see any gold? I'm just wondering. I'm just curious myself, I don't think anybody has seen any of that gold since 1974. When they broke the seals on one room of the 150 rooms, or 150 million ounces. They broke the seal on one room that had 1 million ounces. 1/150th. And they got in there and they actually seen it, and there's pictures of it. You can see pictures of it. They took pictures. And then they shut the vault back up, and I guess they must have put the seal back on the door, and that was that. And nobody's seen it ever since. And they only looked at 1/150th. Now, all that rest of the gold, all those 149 other million-ounce rooms, does anybody know what's behind those doors? It's almost like The Price is Right, and they used to say, do you remember they used to say, do you want what's behind curtain number 1 or curtain number 2? And sometimes they'd open up curtain number 1, and there'd be a donkey back there going, hee-haw, 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 behind curtain number 1. The guy bought curtain number 1. Well, that's just what we got here with this gold. The curtain up, you don't know what's back there. Elon Musk doesn't know, the president doesn't know, but man, they're taking some awful chance. Because if it's not there, there's going to be hell to pay in the financial system. What a chance they're taking by going in there. I mean, wouldn't it be better just to keep the doors shut and say, oh yeah, we got the gold, and to say it for the next 100 years. We got the gold, but nobody can ever look at it. We never count it. We never go near it. That would be the safe option, really, tell you the truth. Just to say you got it, even if you don't got it. Well, silver's at 32.44. Hasn't went anywhere. It hasn't went anywhere for a long time. I remember a long time ago it was 30. I remember it's $50 like 30 years ago. It hasn't went anywhere. But by gosh, it's getting ready to. But we got to get past this little recession that's, I think, is going to trigger. I think they're going to trigger a little bit of a correction in the markets and a little bit of a recession. But I don't think it's going to be a long in the tooth sort of thing. By firing all these people and stuff and doing all these agency cuts and stuff, you know, man, it looks good. That looks great. But on the other side of that, they're going to have to pump money in to cover all that on the other side of it because the economy is going to start to sink. And they'll cover it all, believe me, and more on the other side of it. And that's when the inflation's going to come. So what we're in for is a little bit of a dip and then the awful big bounce. You want to be in there for the big bounce. So you get this little bit of a dip right ahead. Could see everything take a little bit of a hit because the markets and everything else, but then they're going to have to go back to stimulation. They'll drop interest rates down. They may even drop them negative this time. And what they'll do is they'll have to go back to some sort of monetary stimulus. And they might name it something new to try to throw all of us off, but the end result's going to be inflation. And when these tariffs start to really hit hard around the same time, when the tariffs start to really bite, and there'll probably be more tariffs, and they'll probably up the tariffs, you're going to see your inflation come roaring back then. And that's when we're really going to see it's finally the gloves are going to be off for gold and silver, and they're really going to assume their rightful position. I just don't sense we're right quite on it yet. There's still a lot of tricks that they can pull and stuff with this stuff, and so I don't think the buying opportunity is going to end right away. I know an awful lot of people out there are saying, okay, this is it, this is the big time, silver's going to do 100 times in the next month. I don't think that's going to happen, but 6 months from now, then I think you're going to be in that I think you're going to have a couple more months for the final people out there who haven't accumulated any of this stuff. I mean, there's what I'm saying. I think there's going to be a little bit of a boom. Okay, so cryptocurrency, Bitcoin's at 95,672. Our silver was 3244. In other words, it hasn't went anywhere. Bitcoin's at 95,685 right now. Yeah. What's Bitcoin gonna do? I think I'll tell you guys. I don't think the run's over yet. I'm thinking it's going to peak out around maybe 110, and this little depression's might get a bounce up to 110, or it could range in around where it's ranging now. But I don't see it moving that much before this little recession thing hits. And Bitcoin could very well get cut really hard when that hits, and so gold and silver could go down, but not as much. But then on the other side of it, first we're going to see gold and silver move, and they're finally going to disappear. When the real inflation starts to come, probably 6 months from now, and the Trump administration has to go into a stimulus of the economy, probably 6 months, or might be a little bit longer, depending on how long they want to let this little recession, small recession, drag out until they stimulate us back into growth again. And they cause the but the fly in the ointment for all this is them going into that vault. That could change everything. If they go in there and there's nothing in there, or there's only half as much as they're saying is in there and stuff, man, there's going to be big problems, and that could change everything. It could change the reflection on everything that I've been talking about. Could change everything overnight as far as gold and silver. So that's the wild card. And the problem is I'm telling you guys what I think gold and silver is going to do regards this recession and stuff. But that vault could change everything. I mean, all of what I just said, the last 10 minutes about what gold and silver might do. If that vault's open and there's no gold and silver there, gold and silver could blow to the moon. Then you would if you haven't accumulated any, you won't get any. If that vault's empty, let's just put it that way. Now, over the week, our economy, the S&P 500 went down 104 points. It stands at 60.13. And the Dow is down 748 points at 43,428. That's not the correction I'm talking about. At least I'm talking about a bigger correction than that. But we might be right on the front edge of it actually coming. Crude oil is down $2.23 at 70.25. So see, things are signaling that everything is not rosy. This week in the economy, oil prices dropping, tumbling, $2.23. Oil is very sensitive. It acts as a canary in a coal mine for recessions because if oil consumption starts to drop off and the price of crude starts to drop off, that's a kind of a signal of saying, hey, we might be getting near the front edge of a recession. Now, the U.S. dollar index is at 106.64, and it's going along sideways right now. Well, thank you guys for listening to my show. You guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll catch you guys very soon again. Bye-bye.